Dito Ferdinand's in for a review that's been long due. As I've said many times before, I'm not a huge fan of cumbersome projection lenses, so they were never too high on my pending list of reviews. Then I got the Cinelux with my FM lens, and I thought it would be rude to let this opportunity go to waste. There's not much cool stories to these ones as they're modern anamorphics designed for 35mm film projectors. Schneider is a company that bought ISCO some time ago, so their glass is top notch. Being modern, it's a little too top notch. First warning of this video is about the multiple versions available. This one, which seems to be the most compact one and the smallest, is the ES version, but there's also the WA version for wide angles, I suppose, and the Super Cinelux version, which has this terrible front lip that will give you nightmares to solve, so I would avoid that one. Sometimes these Schneiders come with a regular spherical lens attached to its back, so just take that off, and for the purposes of this review, I'm going to be using the anamorphic combined to any other taking lenses that I already have, so you should do the same. The anamorphic block has the same diameter all throughout. Getting to the tech specs, it's a 2x scope with no front threads and non-standard rear threads. It's close to 67mm, but not quite. So you're gonna need clamps for both the front and the back to attach filters and attach the anamorphic to your taking lens. I wouldn't consider this lens to be useful for shooting without a single focus solution. The reason I say that is because the ES Cinelux has no focus ring. You adjust the focus by rotating these two tiny screws at the front of the lens. And how are you going to do that on set? I have no idea, and I don't want to know. I can't even imagine how to work with this on set, as double focus setups are already a pain to work with. This is just stupid. So, long story short, get yourself a single focus solution, the rangefinder, the Rectolux, or the FM, or don't even bother with this adapter. Alignment relies on the clamp, so here I'm using the lens collar from the FM lens. Since the flares on this one are very subtle, check both the flares and the bokeh to be sure that your lens is aligned. The easiest way to mount this lens is probably using a lens collar, and this one for the Canon 100mm f2.8 has the exact same measurement as the Cinelux. And then you attach that to 15mm rails. So you can check the blog for a list that has all the parts for cheap. For the resolution and world tests, I'll be using the FM lens paired to the Cinelux. Prices are all over the place. The Schneider ES Cinelux anamorphic is rather easy to find on eBay, but getting a good price can be challenging as most listings are well above $400. I believe a decent amount to pay for this lens would be around $200. This is when the modern aspects of this lens shine. With a big rear element and multi-coating, the Cinelux performs nicely even at fast apertures around 50mm, and quite decently across the frame. Performance drops as the lenses grow longer, being quite soft at 85 or 135mm at their maximum aperture. Stop them down a bit to f4 or 5.6 and things get better. I'm using the CONTAX ZEISS set as taking lenses so they don't bring in too much personality into the charts. And this is when the modern aspects of this lens don't shine, quite literally, as flares are muted and almost non-existent. They have a saturated but not alien blue color that is very pleasing. That shouldn't be much of a problem though, as I already taught you how to boost them up a bit by using UV filters. For a 2x scope, it's more on the long side, not usable at 40mm, even with 2.4:1 aspect ratio. 50mm makes this possible, but barely, with vignette trying to creep in. If you remove the FM, that should clear it. At 58mm, you have more leeway with the FM and can go an easy 2.4:1 or 2.66:1, accepting a bit of dark corners. As usual, full 3.56:1 shooting only works from 85mm and up. The ES Cinelux has some good points, but overall it doesn't have anything that excites me too much. I'm not crazy for super sharpness, and the lack of natural flares is also a downside for me, but not for everyone. The 2x stretch bokeh is super nice though. This adapter demands a single focus solution, asking for some good money just to make it usable. On the other hand, the simplicity of the setup and the reliability of the results are great pros for this lens. Just mount it on rails to make sure it's aligned and go out to shoot with no need for crazy mods and tweaks. Definitely a good lens for those starting out in the world of anamorphic and getting some nice moody images out of any camera. Do you own one of these? Let me know about your experiences in the comment section below. And if this video helped you narrow down the selection of lenses you have as your first anamorphic, it's a good idea to subscribe, as anamorphics are the main subject in this channel and almost all the videos are about that. For more information beyond the videos, you can check the blog for all the past reviews, all the past tutorials, the anamorphic on a budget guide that's there entirely for free. And wait until next week. Be sure to subscribe. I'm Chit Fedens, and I'll see you then.